We've got another peeler of a day, and I'm due back at work in a couple of days. And this is the last fine day. We've got rain forecast and all that sort of stuff. Bit of a Sigma spoiler. I've just buffed the guards. Can you see that? The bonnet's crap. I didn't paint that. I just tried to buff it. Of course, we've done this one too. And doesn't it look absolutely lovely? The front's on it for now. I've just got to get the indicators, make that fit a bit better. But anyway, this is about the XC. G'day and welcome. This is going to be an episode where we hopefully get our little 351 running really smoothly. I didn't finish setting the carburetor up when it was on the stand. I set the Holly up but not the cutter. Right, this thing hasn't had fuel in it before. Well, it did in the Fairlane. The tank's out of a Fairlane. I put 4 litres in it before just to check any leaks around here. And we're good. I can still smell fumes, but that's just residual from where I pulled it in. So I got some more fuel in those cans there, so we'll gas it up, so to speak. Easiest thing would be to just run a battery, a bit of fuel down the carburetor and get it going, and we're not going to do that. This engine has been running for a while, so we'll just get an air nozzle, blow out the dust around the plugs, take them out, put a bit of oil in there. I'll use a long snout to get to the other side of each piston. Being a V engine, it's going to want to fall this way. And by sort of getting it to the top sort of apex of each piston, if you know what I mean, it's going to flow down both sides, so that should be good. We'll remove the distributor and prime the oil pump again. It won't need priming, but just to get oil pressure up again, we'll do that. And then pop the dizzy back, leave the coil disconnected, and just crank the engine over for a while. I want to check all the fuel lines. There's no fuel in anything, just to make sure there's no leaks. And I want to also, while it's cranking, just get a little bit of fluid moving around the steering system. I think then it'll amount to a better result. So there are a few things to do before we get to that stage. The neutral start switch, I haven't plumbed that air cleaner up either. Look, there's an empty thing there. The neutral start switch, we need to just cut a piece off another loom so it'll plug into that plug here. That's your reverse lights and your neutral start for your automatic. The manuals just use a loop, and I had that loom and I cannot find it anywhere. Just taking a look inside from last time. The console, how good does that look? I gave it a bit of a clean. It needs a bit more cleaning. You can see here, this is an Auto Magic one. There are 2 tear sections on it. I think that's from factory. So I need to fit that. There's a kit you get to convert them to manual and that sort of thing. On the power steering, or sorry, the power window loom, we broke this guy here. And that's a heavy wire. That wouldn't be something you'd try and solder again. It's female, so the easiest way is to take another female one out, and that center bridge comes out, and then you just move those things down and that wire will withdraw. I'll try and do it with one hand. There we go. So I'm just going to use that whole wire and just cut it back here and solder it in, and that's the best way to do that. The neutral start switch, this is spare looms, rubbishy looms I've got lying around. Where is the neutral start switch? Where is it? I can't see it. It's in there though. Not the switch, what is it, the plug? There's a plug in here that I can use as well. So there's a bit of this stuff to do before we get to connect the battery to the XC, so the best thing to do now is just to start. So this last lot will make about 18 litres of fuel we've got in there. And that'll be enough for the pickup to get. And then I don't have to worry about running sort of cans into the pump and all this sort of stuff to start it. I can just turn the key and we'll go, because we've got all the fuel side of things all sorted out. Whoops. Petrol is something you have to really respect. It's pretty volatile, horrible stuff. And you know, we just have to check all around where the filler joins are and that sort of thing. And that would be sort of around here. And that's lovely and dry. That's cool. And just on the off chance, I mean, this Fairlane that I got had fuel in it, so I knew the tank didn't leak. But yeah, it's worth looking around. Stick some in the power steering reservoir. There's nothing in there, it's dry. This is a Sagamore pump, it's not the original type. The original one would be Thompson. So we try not to make a mess. And it'll fill up, but given that all the lines are, evacuated, it's going to need to be topped up quite consistently. The other thing, once the engine starts, this is going to look like a strawberry milkshake in here. It'll aerate as it's evacuating all its air, and then overnight you'll find a lot of that sort of thing will just come out. I've never been so pedantic about a drip of oil. I'll give it quite a big drink actually, because it's going to just fall right down in terms of its level. So I'll top it pretty much up. Right, so that's nice and high, so that's good. That's what we want. We don't want it that high when it's all bled and looking good. I did buy an element for that. We've got to take the air filter off. And I didn't tighten this up because I knew I was going to be doing this. And this will give us a chance to really wipe it down too, because I'm pretty ashamed of how she looks at the moment. We'll just take that off with it. And are we ready to come off? Yes, we are. Good, alright. Let's wipe that off. We'll just put that there, because we're not going to be running the normal air filter on it while we test it all out. Now, there's a couple of things with this. I don't want to run that. I'm going to take it off and replace it. It looks bloody awful. That was from the plater I used that was not a very good plater. I don't think he was. The leads. The firing order on this is 137265448. Starting with 1, and we're going anti-clockwise 3726548, like that. I arranged them in firing order just off here, so I don't have to muck around. Sort of trying to work it out once I've done. So we'll pop those out. Given that everything is brand new in this car, it all comes off so easily. We can just pull that out. Although I'm threaded underneath the auto choke power feed, which is wrong, incorrect, and not great. But what do? I've powered it off positive. It should be powered off the alternator, but we can change that later. I'm not worried about it. I just needed to get it going. Oh, hang on, I'll leave that off. And straight. And you can see we've got points which shouldn't be there. Maybe I will take that off, Might make life a bit easier. Also it makes it so I can see what the hell I'm doing. There we go. It's amazing what you forget you did. That's the air cleaner vacuum port there. And I'll just put this little hood over, so we don't suck too much air, and that can go back on the air cleaner. So remember, just sort of hooked up a small battery, the MG's one, just to check. I know the colours. I knew that was the start one that we need to loop, and I knew that was the reverse one. But it doesn't hurt to check all the same. Here's an old loom. I'm just going to cut this off and just verify if this is connected to the battery. Yes, just to verify that plug's going to fit. And we can sort of make up a new one, a new loom. Yep, that's good. And wire it in accordingly. I can just loop these together and wire those into the two yellow ones. I'll just clean it up a bit so it looks a bit nicer, and then I'll solder it in. So there we go. We've staggered the joints. That's just heat shrink under there and a bit of electrical tape, and we can just tape the rest of that up. We're using proper Auto Lex tape, not the other stuff. So that should look nice and neat. I've used fabric tape on the loom in this car, but where it goes underneath, I think the standard plastic stuff's probably a better choice. Just because of, road moisture and I don't know, anything else that can come up here. This is quite thin, this stuff, but you stretch it around and it gives you a lovely sort of more factory appearance, even though this is not very factory. We'll just do that, clip it, and then we're out of it, if you know what I mean. It's the wrong colour wire too, the yellow is completely wrong, but it's a homemade loom. As soon as I find the other one I can change it out, but for now we've got to go this way. Bit of dusting. I don't think there's anything there. Just get rid of some of the dust around the plug holes. Probably overkill, but not a bad practice to get into. So I've marked the distributor where it goes, because I sort of tentatively timed it on the stand. Oh, I haven't undone the wires. Hang on a sec, I'm just going to have to unplug it. Nice spade, I think. Yes, it is. Oh, there's some muck there too. Hang on a minute. We don't want that getting in. Brother John has two of them. They've actually got a bush in them and seem to work very, very well. I'm sure the blue one was one I used. Yes, and it looks like that one. Maybe not that one. Is the red one? It's that one. Alright, so we're going anti-clockwise. So what I'll do is I'll go and get a bit of oil and just lube the shaft up a bit. And then we can get some more pressure up. And we'll hear it gurgling up through here. I'll take that off. So the drill will slow down when it gets oil pressure. And we'll hear it gurgling. But I've got that lubed up. And we're on. Alright. So that's picked up on there. You can hear the tone of the drill change, and every now and then we have to give the drill a rest. So let's let that sit, and you should be able to hear it gurgling up through there. So what I'll do in the meantime is I'll take the plugs out. Well, I can see it and I can hear it, but I haven't got a gauge. I wonder if I can put a meter on there and read oil pressure with the multimeter. We're just going to have to use the multimeter as an oil pressure gauge. We've got 250 ohms, and as we get oil pressure, we're around 90 ohms. So that's what we're going to have to stay with, I think, in terms of the oil pressure gauge. So I'll put the distributor back in, and I think we'll put a bit of oil in the pots and crank them over. So I want to load the cylinders. I'm using this, which is it's a radio antenna or an antenna for a radio controlled car, and it's hollow in the centre where you feed your wire, and it will fit up the eye of a sewing machine lubricating oil bottle, and that will let me get right into the top of each piston to do the lubricating that I wanted. Viscosity check. Beautiful. That's all we need. And a bit of a squirt there, that's cool. God, these things have a deep bore. Beautiful. Number 4. And it's really clean doing it this way. Sweet. Alright, we'll do the other side and we're out of it. No leaking, nothing. Pretty fluky. Now, this side's a pain in the neck with all the power steering. So we find out whether we've done things properly by installing a proper battery, not a test battery. And that doesn't reach. That's the first freaking issue, so I'm just going to unplug that, pull it over because I'm not fussed with it being tidy at the moment. I'll get a battery with the positive here, so I don't need to modify anything. What am I doing? I'll just take the top bit of that out, and it should give us the reach we want, which it does. And this one, I might have to put a bolt in there. I just want to see if the starter signal is working. I would think I've got the terminal on the wrong part of the starter. I hope it is anyway. Well, let's have a look. Alright, we'll try that. See if it works now. Always get that wire on the wrong side. Rightio, so I think we'll turn him over and check for fuel leak, see if it draws, and try and get some power steering fluid through the system. We'll turn him around for a bit. I've got my multimeter oil pressure gauge here, and see if we can start drawing fuel. fuel in it. Yep, there's fuel at the fuel filter, but it's not quite up in the carburetor yet. So we'll just keep going for a minute. I just want to have a look down on the fuel line joins to make sure I can't feel anything. And they feel alright. And looking up at the tank, that all seems alright. Look, it's slow going, but really worth it. The power steering pump hasn't pumped anything, it's still chockers, so we'll give this a little bit more of a crank, and I reckon then we can put the plugs in. Okay. Just don't want to cook the starter, which I don't think I would with this. I'm only being very gentle with it. Where does this go? That all seems good, and it's still not pumping anything yet. There shouldn't have been residual in that thing though. There's definitely fuel down there. I'll just give it another hit, see what happens. That should be up now. Yep, we got fuel. We're up, we're good. Let's have a look. So down there, we've had fuel down there for a little while in that reservoir. If I hold, hang on, it's going to be tricky. I've got to be just careful. Can you see that? It's not a strong spray, but there's a little bit of fuel in the carburetor. We'll start and then it'll be alright. So I think now the only thing left to do, pop the plugs back in, put an air filter on it and start him up. I'm going to run this sports air cleaner for now, and the reason I'm going to do that is because it's the one I use on the engine stand. I can see the sides of the carburetor, I can see if there's any leaks, I can just see what's going on. And once I'm happy that that's all good, I've got to get a new stud. This isn't a very good one. The thread's a bit dicky on it. Once I'm happy it's good, then I can put its proper air cleaner back on. But for now, this will do. And we're ready to go. Just plug the coil in. And I use the original connector here. Just because the XD's got one that looks better, so we can plug that in. And now we're live. So, I'm going to go off now and have a cup of tea. Just have a think to make sure there's nothing I've forgotten. And we'll be back. So I'm not going to do this outside, but let's go. Let's give it a go, eh? Make sure it's out of here. Alrighty. That started stupid easy. I didn't expect that. Really easily. That steering's gone down. Hang on a second, let's have a look. How well did that go, eh? Oh, look at that, it's all gone. Hang on a sec. I didn't expect it to be quite that easy. I thought we'd be cranking it for a little bit, but it makes perfect sense for it to start well, because I did prepare everything very carefully. This one's going to have a big drink. I just want to make sure it's not going to leak everywhere, because this was something that was out of my control. I'll just bang a bit more in like that and start him up again. And shut it down and see what happens. So much dust in this thing. Alright, let's go for round 2, eh? Screeching, I think. Yes, big drink for the power steering. Your first fill power steering, that's what you're going to get. Lots and lots of bubbles. But that's okay. It's supposed to do that. There's an awful lot of air in there. It's never had fluid through it. Auger stage. And on the inside. We've got power steering now. And it's not making any noises that it shouldn't. I've got the weight off it. Just do a few more checks. I've just noticed vac advance isn't on because I'm a knob and forgot to put it there. What else? Ugh, crap. Power steering again. And we're down. Hang on a second. Right, so we might let it go for a little bit longer now. I just want to have a look down here at the steering box and make sure there's no leaks. Nope. Carburetor. Little weep at the top. No, that all looks fairly kosher. I think we might be able to let him go a bit longer. It all looks okay. I can't see anything down there, but it's not warmed up at all. Look at the exhaust. It's just lying on the ground. Oh, there's a bit of clearance there, but not an awful lot. Alright, let's let him go a bit longer and get a bit of heat into it, I guess. one, I've managed to achieve these winter holidays, or spring autumn holidays, sorry. Once we've got the guards done in the spring, we can put the front back on. And it's going to look really, really nice then. I'm convinced it's going to be really, really nice. Very happy indeed. It runs like the XW. The XW is just like this. Sure you don't want to hear me talking, you probably just want to look at it, right? You almost off choke. Go on, choke. Well, we've got a temperature gauge that's doing something. Let me have a look at that choke. Yeah, the temperature gauge has moved. And thermostat's open. Right, so that choke is too rich. Let me just back that off. Right, so we've got another thermoquad. That's the one I'm reconditioning for the XD, the 351 we're building. That's a Holly 600. That will, I'll recode that as well, and it's all right. It's just not perfect, you know what I mean? And that will go on the XW. So let me just have a look. I want to get this pull-off diaphragm off. This one here. This one I don't think's any good. We can push it right back. It's not holding anything. I think the diaphragm's gone in that. I've got this one, but this is all sort of bent and looks terrible. Although the diaphragm is working, but it's, yeah, I don't want to use that. I might have to buy a new one. I think you can get new ones. The 440 Chrysers used to use these. I think the 340s did too. Not really sure, but they're big. The thermoquads are big with the Chrysers. These are a really specialist job. I did have that leaned out. I thought I might have had it the wrong way around. I've got lovely heat in the engine now, so the thermostat is open. Oh, yep. Everything's working. Everything's going well. It's nicely warmed up. So let us start him and fiddle around with that. Fiddle around with that idle. It's just a little bit too high. Let's have a look. And they're right on full, that's perfect. I think that's a XA XB dipstick. I don't think XC's had the Y one like the XD. It was just a much easier thing, or a much simpler thing, sorry. Power steering. Power steering's good. Works beautifully. It's on the cold. I can probably top it up a bit, but for now that's going to do fine. Oh, well, what do you think? I'm actually really happy with that. It was always going to start right, I suppose, because we set it all up on the engine stand. The carburetor does need some adjustments though. It's running too rich. It's one of those things that it runs on choke absolutely flawlessly, but off choke it sounds cammy, but it's not as cammy. It sounds a bit too cammy or lopey, if you know what I mean. It's in the carburetor adjustment. I ironed it out a bit with the mixtures, but when I first did this carburetor, because thermoquads are very, very specialist, I heated this engine up on the engine stand with a Holly on it, then swapped them over to run it warm. And it ran alright, but then it started to falter a bit. And I remember saying, I'll sort it out once it's on the car. And we just have to mess with it. The two diaphragms at the back are probably damaged, given that they're pretty knackered, certainly in appearance. But otherwise, it is absolutely brilliant. The engine is so silent mechanically, and starts really easily. We've got oil pressure gauge. It doesn't work. Harvey will probably know something about that. I might ask for some advice. He gave me some electronic bits for it anyhow, and that has to come out again, that dash, because some of the illumination, or the globes for the night illumination, aren't working properly. But that's that for this one. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I'm stoked with what I got done these holidays. We've done a bucket load of work on the Sigma. We didn't go away these holidays. Sometimes we go away for a few days in the Easter, but we didn't. That gave me lots of time here, and the kids went to work and Susie went to work, so it did afford me some time. But anyway, look, thanks very much for watching and for taking an interest in this crap. And look after yourselves, drive safely, enjoy classic, and I shall see you soon. Bye.